everyone, so I'm back with another school tips video, and this one was highly requested. I usually get questions on how to stay focused, how to concentrate, not get distracted while you're studying. First of all, creating a time of day where you can study is really ideal. You want to set about, I don't know, it depends, but probably like 1 to 3 hours a day, and set aside that time for you to study, whether it be right after school or a time before bed, something like that, whichever is convenient for you. Just make a schedule so you have one to follow each day. Finding a nice quiet environment to study in is really important. For me, I thought I could study in my dorm, but it's really not that easy. I get too distracted. So you want to find an area that's away from distractions. If the computer distracts you, the TV, your roommate, your other people around you is just too distracting, then definitely find a quiet place, whether it be, I don't know, somewhere in your bedroom where you can close the door, or some people like to go to places like Starbucks, because that's what I like to do. I love going to Starbucks to study. I feel the vibe from other people studying and have my coffee and my headphones on, and that's how I get my study vibe on. So if you like that kind of atmosphere, there's also the library, and at the library you can also meet up with people to make study groups. It's a great place because all the resources are there. It's pretty much there for you to study in, and it's very quiet most of the time, and you can also have your headphones on. Like I said, I love having my headphones on, just drown out the noise and just concentrate on what I'm studying. Also in the library, if you don't like a lot of people around you, there's usually sections in the library where it's more secluded, and they actually have like little cubicles that are kind of separated. I love those when I really need to study, so those are really great. Just having a little cubicle to set up your area, and it's nice and quiet, and you're not fully alone because there's other people studying. But if you like to have that little area where you kind of feel blocked off, then that's definitely a good alternative. As for concentrating and staying focused in class, that's a little harder to do, but I found there's some ways that you can make the lecture more interesting, and it's usually more interesting if you know what's going on or what's going to be lectured. So what I like to do is I like to go over any lecture notes beforehand. Sometimes they post it online. You can look through their PowerPoints or their handouts to just kind of get an idea of what's going to be happening that day. And also, if you want to read through the certain chapter that you know is going to be reviewed that day, you don't have to read the whole thing. You can just skim through it, or you can go through the key points at the end of the chapter. It's a great way to kind of get your mindset, to know what's going to happen. And also, you can write down some questions you have for the teacher, and that way you can be more involved in what's going on and you're more engaged in class. And also about being engaged, if you are comfortable, ask questions in class, or if you don't want to ask the teacher or professor, you can ask some questions to your to the person next to you, or if you guys happen to make a group, you guys can participate in discussions that way. Also, sometimes it's hard to have your friend in class because they might distract you, or you might have other people in class who are just a little too talkative, and if you're not into that, if that's too distracting, then just separate yourself. You can definitely just ask your teacher if you can move seats, or of course if you're in college, you just move someplace else. So make sure that you're in the environment that you feel comfortable in and that you can stay focused in class. The best way that I stay focused, or the best way that I can pay attention, is to be actively taking notes. I can't just sit there and just watch the teacher and watch them lecture. I really need to actively take notes and kind of put things in my own words too. So I usually have my laptop and I take notes, or sometimes I just handwrite them, make little circles or underline things, highlight important things, and that way I can go back to my textbook or my notes and get further information if I was confused. Or yeah, just be really active in class. Taking notes is a really good way to kind of get your mind going and stay on track as well. So in a lot of my videos I have tips on how to take notes, making study guides, and it kind of goes for the same for studying and staying focused. As you're studying, try not to get too bored. I had a question of how you don't get bored while you're reading. So pretty much what I do is I take out like a pencil or my highlighter, and I like underline and highlight things as I'm going. And I'm only underlining and highlight things I fully understand. So I'm like, oh, okay, I get it, and I will just highlight it. And that's the way I don't get bored. And then I try to question myself. Like, I give myself questions about the material to be like, just to be more engaged and kind of understand it. And then towards the end, I kind of think in my head, okay, did I really understand everything? So that's a great way to not get bored, stay focused, and concentrate on studying. And in class, these are just some simple tips and some techniques that I've picked up along the way for being in school. So if you guys have any of your own tips, then please leave them down below for everyone to see. Thank you guys so much for watching, and check out my website beautymateslifestyle.com, and I'll see you guys in my next school tips video. Bye!